Move over love language. It is time to learn about your partner's stress language. If you are not familiar with your partner's love language, it is how you and your partner might feel appreciated. It might be things like gifts. It might be things like, acts of service, like, oh, you did the dishes for me. That made me feel really loved. Thank you so much. But this is a whole entire another way on how they react when they are under pressure. And this can be a relationship game changer. The impact of stress on relationships can wreak havoc on each other's not only mental health, but also on the well-being of it. So much like love languages has different types of people, so does these stress languages. Let's learn them. Number one, the fixer. You know those people who like jump into action and fix absolutely everything when they're under pressure? If that's you, let me know. They might like cross boundaries. They might like immediately jump into things they're not even invited to. They're the fixer. A fixer might like choose their partner's clothes for them, even when they don't even need to, because they might not trust their partner to make the right choice for their clothes because they just feel stressed out like in their life. Number two is the denier. The denier tends to like throw toxic positivity around, right? So they are just like in denial of all the stress. They're like, everything's fine. We're all fine. Everything's great and rainbows and, I poop unicorns out my butt. It's kind of like an ignore it until it goes away type situation. Number three is like the number. This is the person who like entirely numbs their situation with distractions, which is all good until you have numbed yourself out entirely and just, there's no stress. Like everything is just numbed. For instance, like overwhelming yourself with work, screen time. Maybe you are like a drinker. Maybe you just work out a lot and that's just an overbearingly amount. And then we have the exploder. So this is like the fight or flight type people, right? The brain might tell their body that they're like in immediate danger, and they're immediately going in, bah! They're quick to criticize or point the finger or assign blame to somebody else. They might get reactive rage or catastrophic thinking, storm off in the middle of a conversation, or blame their partner for their stress. But on the contrary, there's the imploder, who internalize their stress. And these people take on their stress as if they're the root cause of it, which creates a lot of self-criticism, which clearly, as you can tell, probably is not healthy. And a lot of shame, and they talk a lot like, everything's always my fault, you're right, I can never do anything right. So knowing your partner's stress language, much like knowing your partner's love language, is going to help you understand what they need in that moment of stress. It's going to help you kind of decode what they need when they're in that moment of fight or flight or reactive or anything like that, as well as almost kind of create the ability for you to emphasize with them and give them what they need so you can create more of an emotional connection with them, which is what we all really want, whether you're looking to recreate a physical connection with them or even feel better emotionally with them. And when you know your own, it'll kind of help you recognize what you're doing in that moment and kind of help with self-growth and self-care. So based on this video, what's yours? And do you know your partner's?